Surround yourself with people who want to see you win. No drama, no complaining, no gossip, just good vibes and positivity. If they are toxic, that doesn't fit into the prescription.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Chasing Excellence. My name is Patrick Cummings. As always, I am joined by Ben Bergeron. Every week on the show, we dedicate some time to exploring how we can live a life of better health and increased fulfillment. We answer your questions about the 5 factors of health, dive deep on living a life of excellence, and explore the strategies and frameworks to help us chase what truly matters. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you, Ben?
Doing great. Really good, Pat. Thanks.
Good.
I called you Pat. I never called you Pat. Patrick.
I know. That was my name pretty much until college. And then once you get to college, you can kind of reaffirm your identity. And I just started having people call me Patrick. So it's been a while. What we've got this episode, we've got listener questions about taking concrete steps toward a weight loss goal, some simple and effective recovery methods, and transferring what we do in the gym to what we do outside the gym. Our workout, our main chat is this week will be a conversation on how to deal with folks who just don't understand why we make the decisions we do. And we will wrap up with another recommendation or round of recommendations, things we've been enjoying and would love folks to know more about. Let's get right into it with our warm-up. We start each episode with your questions about the 5 factors of health, those few fundamental behaviors that most positively affect our performance, vitality, and longevity. 5 factors are how we eat, how we move, how we think, how we connect, and how we recover. Just one more reminder, I'm going to keep reminding folks, if you would like to get to the top of the queue to get into a future episode with your questions, head to chasingexcellence.email. The link is in the show notes. You'll get on our newsletter, and in those newsletters, which go out on Fridays, you'll have a link to get a question in and get the question to the top of our queue. All right, first question is in our move category. It's from Gregory. He says, I'm a 32-year-old male standing 6'3" and usually weighing around 240 pounds. Recently, I noticed I'd gained weight and reached 260 pounds, prompting my return to CrossFit and triathlon training. While I have multiple goals, my top priorities are reaching a weight below 220 and being able to perform 20 strict pull-ups, as gymnastics and skills have always been my weakness in CrossFit. What recommendations do you have to help me achieve these goals?
Okay, 6'3" and
6'3"
between 240 and 260. Recommendation is to try out for the NFL. Forget about triathlon. Forget about CrossFit. Dude, you're a beast. Like that's the ideal inside linebacker. Like, my God. I can't imagine that guy like on a bike trying to do a triathlon.
Okay. You know what that feels like. I have no.
Yeah.
Not
going up a hill. Yeah. That'd be like me going up a hill carrying like another person
with Heather on your back.
Yeah, for real. Okay, but this is a really straightforward, easy question. In order to lose weight, there is one diet protocol that's the guaranteed, and it's macros. And that's why it's so popular. Macros might not be the thing that gives you the best health because it has nothing to do with quality, but it has everything to do with quantity. And your body composition is a factor. It's a result of the quantity. So it's super simple. Do macros. Like, do macros and adjust. That's the real thing. Like, and you don't even have to hire a coach. Go online and go, this is how much I weigh. This is my activity level. And what should be my starting numbers? And it'll spit it out to you for free. Start there. If you're not losing weight, adjust. It's that simple. And the way you adjust is you can either adjust total calories down or carbs down. That's really the way to do it. The other way is like just what fits best into your lifestyle and what you're already doing to make it as easy as possible. But the quick, short, easy answer is do macros. You will drop weight faster than doing anything else you could possibly do, including intermittent fasting. Macros is the thing. That's the one. Okay, then the more training aspect to this, the more systematic of how do I get to 20 pull-ups? He's on the right track. You drop 20 pounds. There's probably nothing you can do better for pull-ups or body weight movements than losing weight. So in addition to that, here's my suggestion. If you're looking to be able to do 20 unbroken pull-ups, you should set up a training protocol. It depends on how fast you want to get this, right? I'm going to give you an aggressive program, which is you're going to double that number, and that's your training goal every day. You're going to try to get, not every day. You're going to try to get 40 pull-ups 3 times a week, and you can accomplish them however you want. If that's 40 singles, do 40 singles. If that's 40 in a band with sets of 5 to 10, go do that. If it's 40 unbroken in a band, go do that. But the idea is that you are going to double the amount of your goal, and that's going to be your set number that you want to get 3 times a week. I would suggest varying it. So day 1, you're going to do 40 single pull-ups. Rest as much as you want to in between. The next time, you're going to do 4 to 5, 8. You're going to do 8 sets of 5. Maybe you need a band for that, and that's cool. That's totally fine. The next day, you're going to do one big set as big as you can. Maybe you get 8, 9, 10, 11, and then right away jump into a band and crank out the next 30 in a band. Just like, if you want another variation, do 4 on the minute for 10 minutes. Like, there's infinite number of combinations, especially with that number 40. Good job. But the idea is 3 times a week, double the goal number, break it up however you want to.
Does it matter at all if in the regular course of his gym's programming, they're doing some pull-ups in the day? Do that anyways? Do it on the other days?
Yeah. I kind of left that out because that's there's always that, right?
Yeah.
And that does add a level of complexity to it. So if he's going to do CrossFit training, nice to know when pull-ups are going to be showing up in the regular workout so you don't overload them. But my goal, then the second, maybe 1B answer to that would be the pull-ups you do in the workout count towards that. Do the extra. If you need to do extra on the same day, you're doing them in class. So you get a chance to stress and recover. If you can, ask your coaches what days of this week you're going to be doing pull-ups. Totally a fair question. Every coach should be able to answer that for you, just so you can set up the training around those days.
Next question is in our recover bucket. It's from Andrew. Andrew, just one more reminder, got on up to the top of the queue by being on the newsletter list and clicking through.
Look at Andrew.
Thank you to Andrew for that. This is his question. I'm looking for a few simple action items to improve my recovery. Despite being 40 years old and paying attention to all 5 factors of health, adjusting workouts to fit me, not always going too hard, and regularly warming up and cooling down, I often feel like I need more rest days than most. Working out 5 to 6 days a week seems to be excessive for me. While I don't have access to specialized recovery equipment or a lot of time to dedicate to it, I recognize its importance and want to make some improvements. Additionally, if better recovery allows me to have more fun outside the gym and take on 1 or 2 more classes a week, that would be great. Can you provide simple recovery suggestions that require little to no equipment?
Awesome question, Andrew, and I love it. Showing up 5 or 6 days a week, paying attention to the 5 factors, not going too hard, but still feel a little bit beat up, and 5 or 6 days is a little bit too much. What's the suggestion? The suggestion is not any specific tools or any protocols. The suggestion is you already answered it in your question. You're just not doing it. You're paying attention to it. You're not really doing it. Now, the first place we go to is actually the training. So you're saying 5 or 6 days a week, but you're not able to recover to be able to go 5 or 6 days a week. That means when you're going too hard. I'm assuming that when he says he's paying attention to the other 5 factors, that means he's eating whole foods and plenty of calories. He's fully hydrating. He's sleeping at least lights out to lights on, needs to be 8+ hours. So ideally you're getting 8 hours of sleep or more. That you have a really good work-life balance with low stress, and you don't have any toxic relationships, and you fall asleep within 10 minutes when your head hits the pillow, your head doesn't spin. Those are the good indicators that you're paying attention to the other stuff. So if you truly are doing that, Andrew, and I believe that you are, I really do, then it actually becomes you're doing too much when you go to the gym. That's the real And if we think about working out as medicine, medicine's great for the people that need it. Working out is great for everybody because everybody needs it. What's not great with medicine, like my mom went through chemotherapy. What's not great with chemo is skipping 2 or 3 sessions and then overloading 2 or 3 sessions, or overdosing the chemo. So you have to skip some sessions. You need the appropriate dose consistently. That's what this comes down to. And it's one of the things it takes a long time for this to kind of flip for people, but it's been a big topic of our conversation over the last year or so. Is when you're doing CrossFit, if you're doing it in a gym with high energy and a lot of hard chargers and really potent programming like comp train is, I know you don't need to work hard. It's not that's not the thing. And we talked about this before. If you're going to the Globo gym, sitting on a recumbent bike and flipping open People magazine, you need to work harder. That's the thing. And that is why so many people talk about intensity and hard work and all that stuff, because they're talking to the 95% of the people out there. Andrew is not the 95%. He's the 5% that's working definitely hard enough. He's working too hard, because what we need to do is take your medicine every day, not by mistake take 2 or 3 days worth of medicine and getting, quote, sick or needing longer recovery time in between. The idea is protocol number 1, step 1 of the recipe of the prescription is train 5 or 6 days a week. Full stop. Until we are there, we don't need to, the conversation doesn't even need to be about 8 hours of sleep. It's this. I actually don't believe the conversation should be about whole foods. It should be this. We need you training 5 or 6 days a week. Then that's step 1. Step 2 is then eat real foods. Step 3 is 8 hours sleep. Step 4 is be curious, not judgmental, have the right mindset. Step 5 is surround yourself with people that want to see you win. No gossip, no drama, no complaining, just good vibes and positivity. That's the recipe. So step 1, 5 or 6 days a week. If you can't go 5 or 6 days a week because you're beat up, you're doing too much. Now we can get into I'm trying to stay away from the exercise science of the stimulus adaptation recovery response cycle. It's you don't need to know that to just know if you can't go tomorrow, you went too hard today.
All right. Last question we've got in our warm up is from Amy. It's in our think category. She says, I've been doing CrossFit for about 3 years, usually attending the gym 5 or 6 days a week. I've noticed that while I can physically perform all the exercises written on the whiteboard, often with modifications, I struggle with similar tasks outside the gym. Is this a mindset issue? I feel like I lack the same motivation and drive to perform outside of the gym as I do during my workouts. Although I feel the mental benefits of CrossFit in other aspects of life, if I do this, I can do anything. The physical gains don't seem to carry over. Any thoughts on this?
What's your take? What do you think her question is here? So I hear it as when I get in the gym, I can work really hard and do clean and jerks and lift a lot of weight. And I want to go, I have no problem pushing myself. When I get outside the gym and it's time to do the chores around the house or have energy with someone else, I don't have it. Is that?
Yeah, I similar to that. I think what I read into it, the first thing that pops in mind is a plyo box, right? Where even if it makes me nervous, I still try to get the box jumps if it's in the middle of a workout. But things outside the gym, I'm hesitant or I'm nervous about trying something, pushing myself to try something, doing something that might be right at the edge of my ability or my confidence level. That's kind of what I took from it.
I don't think it's a mindset issue. I think it's an environment issue. When you're in the gym, it's if the question is, what do I need to change about my mindset to have the same level of motivation outside the gym as inside the gym? You're not going to. That's why you go to the gym. I don't expect anyone to perform outside the gym the way they do inside the gym. Inside the gym is the training thing. Now, what I would expect you to do is when it really matters, when it really matters, you should be able to flip into gym mode. And what do I mean by that? Hopefully it never happens to us, honestly. But when it really matters is when your house is burning down and your dog is in the bedroom upstairs and you got to run up the stairs and carry your Saint Bernard down the stairs. I hope you flip into game mode, and I think you will, because the true motivation is there. But if it is a matter of hey, when I'm in the gym, I'm a go-getter and I can, do, I can get a score of 30 on fortitude. Like, I'm super fit and I work really hard. But when I get around the house and it's time to clean up the garage, I'm kind of like, don't have all that level of motivation. I think you're a human being. Like you have set goals surrounded by people that are doing the same things with real good uh, visualization of what's at the end of that thing. There's a lot of dopamine. There's a lot of epinephrine. There's a lot of um, uh, runner's high, oxytocin, all that stuff that's coming from this endeavor. The stuff around the house, we're not supposed to. Now, it's not a matter of like an excuse to not do it. This is what self-discipline is. Self-discipline is doing the things you don't want to do anyway, like you want to do them. And then here's another cool one. It's also doing the things you don't want to, it's doing the things you don't want to do like you want to do them, and doing things you do want to do, or not doing the things you do want to do. Case in point, I want to sleep in. Okay, self-discipline is getting up out of bed. I want to have dessert. Self-discipline is saying no to the dessert. Like, this is an excuse to kind of like not do the things outside the gym, but it's recognizing that even though you don't have that outside motivation, which the gym provides, you still got to do these things.
All right, one more time. Get on the new newsletter, chasingexcellence.email. Link is in the bio. And you can get to the top of the queue for a future episode. You can, of course, still find me on Instagram, PS Cummings, drop me a DM, and I'll also get it to the list. You'll just get to the bottom of the list. So I don't know why you'd want to do that. We're going to jump into our workout here in a minute. First, a quick word of thanks to a few sponsors. We're brought to you this week by Neurohacker. Are you looking for a way to resist aging at the cellular level and enhance your overall well-being? Look no further than Qualia Senolytic from Neurohacker. Visit neurohacker.com/excellence, get $100 off your purchase, and if you use the code excellence at checkout, you'll get an additional 15% off. Imagine feeling 15 years younger in just a matter of months. That is the goal of Qualia Senolytic. It contains science-backed ingredients known as senolytics, which target and remove senescent cells in your body. These cells are often referred to as zombie cells because they no longer serve a useful function and can hinder your health and vitality. By taking Qualia Senolytic for just 2 days a month, you can experience a range of benefits, including saying goodbye to aches, pains, and slow workout recoveries. What sets Neurohacker apart from other brands is its commitment to transparency and scientific rigor. Their formulas are created by top scientists, MDs, and NDs, with each ingredient backed by extensive research. Thousands of real life-changing reviews over 6 years and counting speak to the powerful results of Qualia products. If you're ready to take control of your aging process and unleash your full potential, visit neurohacker.com/excellence to get $100 off your purchase. Use the code excellence at checkout for an additional 15% off. That's neurohacker.com/excellence. We're also brought to you this week by Chirp. If you're tired of dealing with back pain and muscle aches, listen up. Introducing Chirp, the brand that's revolutionizing pain relief and muscle recovery. Go to gochirp.com. Use the code excellence to save yourself 10% off your order. Chirp offers a range of simple and effective tools designed to help you feel good so you can do more of the things you love. Whether you're looking to reduce muscle soreness, relieve pain and discomfort, or improve mobility and flexibility, Chirp has got you covered. Ben, one of the things I like about Chirp is that it's one of the few partners that we've had here on the podcast that I reached out to first. I had some neck and shoulder stuff going on, gosh, probably 3 or 4 months ago, and I saw our mutual friend Cole talked about Chirp. And I was like, hey, Cole, can you connect me with the folks at Chirp? And I bought some of their products. I reached out to them after that. And I said, hey, we'd love to have you partner with us on the show. So I'm really excited that they did. And one of the products that I just started using, you and I were just talking about this, we just got them. It's called the Chirp RPM, a rolling percussive massager that combines the power of percussive massage and rolling techniques. With its wide massage area and adjustable speeds, the RPM is perfect for flushing out tension in large muscle groups and promoting full body recovery. Chirp is offering an exclusive deal for our listeners. Head to gochirp.com. Use the code excellence at checkout for 10% off your first order. That's gochirp.com. And don't forget to use the code excellence for your special discount. All right. We have a question from a listener. His name is Tyler. And this is what he would love us to talk through. As my wife and I strive to make decisions that align with our values and family, we've been facing increased tension and friction from certain family members who disagree with our choices. During a recent family vacation, my wife and I were treated with disdain and labeled as antisocial because we opted to explore nature and play outside with our son during the day instead of engaging in small talk indoors with extended family. Similarly, while others stayed up late drinking and playing cards, we chose to stay sober and go to bed early to prioritize activities like breath work and working out before starting another day of parenting a toddler. While cutting these toxic individuals out of our lives may seem like a simple solution, it is unfortunately not feasible due to the criticism coming from my wife's parents and sisters. Therefore, I believe part of the solution lies in better explaining why we choose to live our lives the way we do. My first question: how can we effectively manage these difficult conversations to explain our lifestyle choices to individuals who lead drastically different lives and consequently have drastically different perspectives? Additionally, I would appreciate any suggestions for alternative solutions we should consider. So I've got some follow-ups, but I'd love your initial reaction on the overall question.
I see it as two sides, and I don't know which is the thing. The first one is does the conversation need to be about how to have these conversations, or is it we need to modify our own behavior to actually fit into the group better? So let's do the first one first, or the second one first, which is I totally get not wanting to stay up late, not wanting to drink. The idea that I want to be primed and I value health and I want to be outside and I want to have energy and be present raising our toddler. There also is the part that you're a part of a family, and part of being a part of any group is not necessarily doing everything your way. And we need to understand that a little give and take here and there goes a long way. And I think it would make sense to figure out where the boundaries are, because if I was with somebody and I live and breathe this stuff and feel it's the most important thing that we have in our lives is to take care of our health. If I was with somebody and we were at a family gathering and they didn't come inside to have conversations with us and only were outside playing with their toddler, that is antisocial to me. And I would encourage them to pick their battles, not try to win every single battle they possibly can, but pick the battles so you can win the war. Because you're going to end up losing the war if you try to win every single battle. Like, you can't just win all of it. My suggestion would be, I don't need to drink and I don't need to stay up all night playing cards, but I can sit around a table and do small talk. Like, that's a part of socializing. It's a part of being a part of life. And then I'll go out and I'll spend my 5 to 10 minutes here or there. Or if I'm there for a full day, I'll go out and spend 45 minutes, an hour kicking the soccer ball in the backyard with the kids. But it's important that it's not all my way or the highway. There has to be some give and take in every group dynamic, especially a family. So I would challenge these people are toxic, and try to get a good grasp of what we mean by that. Now, if the talk when they're talking is toxic, where it's drama and complaining and negativity and ripping people apart and backstabbing, that's completely different. But that's not what I heard. I heard small talk. Talk about the weather, talk about the local sporting event, talk about some light politics, talk about grandpa's failing health issues. Like, cool. Like, that's what we should be doing at family gatherings. So that would be the first side. The second side is, nope, I want them to understand. I do feel like what we're doing is balanced. I do feel like we're trying. I do feel like we're finding a happy medium, but they still don't understand. Like, when we go to bed, like they're calling us out for going to bed earlier, not drinking. That to me is a little bit different, where you go and you have the conversation, really seeking understanding from, like, you're trying to understand them, like not trying to get them to understand you. There's not a right or a wrong here, in my opinion. I think it's a matter of what, people value, people enjoy, people think certain parts of life is important, and not everyone's going to agree on that. And you guys really enjoy the late night thing and the playing cards and drinking. And I get it. That seems really fun for you guys. It seems really, really fun. That's not what I find value in. I find value in health and nature and really taking care of myself. So when you guys stay up late at night, I hope that you understand where I'm coming from when I turn in at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now, if you're going to bed at 7:45 during a family gathering when everyone's just like, we have to understand where obsession kind of falls in with reality. And we've talked about this before, where the 80-20% is. You can do those things all the time when you're in your bubble, in your household, and you're in control. I feel like there is a level of give that we should be willing to succumb to allow the 20% for a balanced life. The last thing I would say is it's impossible to cut people out of your life without criticism. So if that actually is the thing, like, no, these people are toxic. I said it in an earlier part of like my prescription. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win. No drama, no complaining, no gossip, just good vibes and positivity. If they are toxic, that doesn't fit into the prescription. But let's understand what toxic is. Is it because they stay up late at night drinking? I don't see that as toxic necessarily, but that's for each person to decide on their own.
You mentioned the word obsession. I think that was one of the things I was thinking about with this question, which is where do you draw the line, or where can we draw the line between like being obsessed, which when I hear that word and I say, there's sort of, it's a bit pejorative to me. Like obsession generally is not something I think of as necessarily a good thing, but we are in a community of, like, we came up in a movement of, very much could be categorized as like, you people are obsessed with this. And so I say that coming out of that context, which is like, where is the obsession on health beneficial to us? And where does it, perhaps in Tyler's case, maybe getting in the way a little bit? Where, to your point about the 80-20, like, it's really easy to obsess and forget that there's a difference between obsession and, maybe we can use the word compliance, something we talk about here a lot recently, this 5 to 6 days a week. Like, that to me is compliance. That's not obsession, but it's easy to tip over to obsession.
Yeah, I would, compliance is one. I would put something maybe in between compliance and obsession and call it passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think compliance is like, okay, I'll do that. It's just like checking boxes.
Yep.
This is the things I need. I know I need to do. That's compliant. Passion is like, I enjoy this. I get fulfillment out of this. It's a thing that I think fits really well in my life. I look forward to this. I like what this does for me. Obsession is this at all cost. And this really needs to be singular, because here's another definition, which I think I got from Brandon Bouchard, is passion. People cheer you on for passion. Like, I'm so happy that you found something that you enjoy, Patrick. This podcast thing seems like really awesome. And I'm so happy for you that you found able to bring up your passion to your work. That's passion. Obsession is when people are scared for you. They're concerned. Like, Patrick, you and this podcast thing, it's absorbing you. This thing is, it's too much. Like, you have to, like, there's other things in this world. Here's my take on these. If you want to be the best in the world at something, you need to be obsessed. So the Kobe Bryants, the Tom Bradys, and the Michael Jordans are obsessed. They are fully obsessed and absorbed and singularly focused on that endeavor. And because of that, they can be the one. I've trained and worked with people that have become the one, and I can say firsthand, it was obsession. When it becomes a passion, you're probably not going to be the one, because somebody else is obsessed, and they're going to move ahead of you. Now, for the evolution of this conversation, believe passion is way better than obsession, because a singular thing is dangerous. It's dangerous it's multifactorial, and we've talked about these a lot in different conversations, but some of those things are, when it goes away, what are you left with? Because that was your identity. And it's really challenging for obsessed people to make a switch because it was their full identity. When you get the thing you were searching for, the wins, the applause, the accolades, whatever that might be, and you realize that happiness does not come along with that, that's a dangerous place to be. The things that you burn along the way to get to that thing is a dangerous thing. I would much rather have people create a little bit more of a balanced approach and because you can be passionate about multiple things. I'm passionate about being a dad. I'm passionate as an entrepreneur. I'm passionate as a coach. And I'm passionate about my health and fitness and the relationships I have and the ability to share this. Like I'm passionate about this, but that's very different than being obsessed. If I'm going to be obsessed about something, there is nothing except the path that you're on, and any deviation is essentially falling off the tracks, much like our friend Tyler. So this might be a level of obsession. Like if I can't get my breath work in today, like I'm who am I? Like what am I doing? If I can't be out in nature today, what does this mean? And I'm not saying this is Tyler because I don't know. And Tyler sounds like a guy I would want to hang out with, honestly.
Right. Yep.
But and he's asking the right questions. But we just have to be aware of this stuff, of when is it tipping over? Because as we get passionate about something, it can lead because it feels so good. Like when I started doing breath work, and I did breath work for 300 days one year, and there was times that like I need to get this in, but like cool, as long as we're not so laser visioned on it, we don't see the other things that we're sacrificing.
How do you like? I love this conversation, and I think it's really it's an interesting one, and one we've talked around a little bit. But I think my one question or my question now would be this conversation that we're having, this broader conversation about health and about balance and about chasing what truly matters. Like we've said a lot that health is not like the purpose of the gym is not to get necessarily to get better at the gym. It's not to the purpose of eating healthy foods is not to be a person who eats healthy food. It's like it's so that we can fill ourselves up and so that we can serve others in the way that we can serve others. And so I think back to the early days of CrossFit, like I won't speak for you, but I would assume like both of us were obsessed with it at some point in in 2005 and 2006. And it definitely tipped over from passion to obsession. Like I remember moments similar to Tyler where it's like, sorry guys, I have to go to bed because tomorrow morning I have to get to the gym. Like I remember making decisions like that when now 10 years later, 15 years later, like I can see like, well, that was pretty short-sighted. But at the time it felt like the obsession was a good thing. So all of that to say, like this conversation that we're having around the 5 factors, it almost strikes me that any one of those, when they tip into obsession, you've lost the script. These 5 factors, this pursuit that we're on, that we're talking about, this journey needs to live not in compliance, and it needs to live not in obsession. It needs to live. We need to make sure it lives in passion. And I think sometimes it tips over. I think they can rather tip over in one or two of these elements because they're fun, because we like them, because we fall into a group of people who also, whatever the reasons are. I think it's really important to kind of pull ourselves back and recognize we don't do these things for the sake of these things. We do these things for the sake of something that this allows us to do better or more fully.
I really like that in terms of the reason that we chase these 5 factors is so that we become the best versions of ourselves, so that we get to our deathbeds and go back and go like, I'm so glad that I did that, because I really believe that if we don't take care of our health, they've done these studies where they ask people on their deathbeds, what's the one thing that you would go back and change? And health is always one of the top 10. I wish I'd taken better care of my health and my body. It's always there. Other ones are, just to tangent this a little bit, but they not spend so much time in the office. But also the opposite is also there as well. I wish I had really worked hard on things that really matter and built something really cool. Like that's one that shows up a lot is, I wish I had spent more time working, but it's always
On things
on
that
something
matter.
that mattered. Exactly.
Yeah.
Built
Yep.
something cool with people. Like other ones are like take care of personal finances better. Obviously, spend more time with the people that matter. That's the highest one. That's always the highest one. Spend more time in self-reflection. Like those are the things, and that's what we start off this podcast with every week is to create this awareness and the strategy and the frameworks to chase what truly matters. And I think at the end, what truly matters is having this level of health, to your point, to be able to serve other people, fill up your cup so much that you have the energy, vitality, and capacity to be able to help other people in all these different ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever it might be. And what we can get caught up in is as we get passionate about this thing, we feel good about what we're doing. And there's a saying for this in the people that meditate and spiritual people. And it's you end up getting because the purpose of meditation is not to become a good meditator, but you end up getting like a spiritual ego where I want to get really good at this thing and I want to be able to sit, in a breathless state for, 2 hours and be, all this. And the purpose of creating a spiritual practice or become a spiritual being is not to be more spiritual than somebody else, just like the meditating is to become a better meditator than somebody else. It's to be able to navigate life better. And that's what we're trying to do trying to be aware of is our health practice, the things that we do to push the 5 factors forward. Are we doing that because it makes us feel superior? It makes us feel better than other people that aren't doing this? Or are we doing it really because it's helping us navigate life better? And if, when it comes time to share your life with other people, you're not willing to give that little bit up, that should be a level of that should be a trigger for self-reflection. Now, having said all of that, I'm guessing Tyler is probably in his late 20s or early 30s with a toddler. And if I heard this conversation, I would have gone, screw you, Ben. I don't think you're right. And a decade later, I would have gone, oh, no, actually, yes. I think that you just need time for this one. I really do. Like, this is one of those things that if you tell a 25-year-old, they're going to go, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But when they're 45, they're going to go and they're going to be espousing the same thing. It's just one of the evolutions of us as people is that, especially in our society where more is more, and the farther you get down a path, the better you feel about yourself because you're achieving and you're becoming. I just think that we need enough weeks under our belt to have the perspective to look back on this thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Last thing is something we've talked about before, and something you said today made me think of it, and perhaps an interesting idea or interesting framework. We've talked a lot about the difference between I have to go to the gym and I get to go to the gym. And so I was thinking about that popped in my head as you were talking about compliance, passion, and obsession, and something maybe interesting in the far end of it being I have to go to the gym, compliance. I get to go to the gym, passion, and I need to go to the gym, obsession. And again, and folks push back on this, but to me, it feels like this conversation that we're having is don't tip too far towards the have to, the compliance, don't tip too far to the need to, the obsession. We want to live somewhere in that middle, that passion zone of I get to do these things. And as soon as we feel ourselves pushing towards I need to go to bed early so that I can do my 45 minutes of breath work. Sorry, guys. I know we're on a family vacation together. Again, to your point, that might be a trigger to say, okay, a little bit of self-reflection here. Am I tipping too far towards need to obsession? Am I being a little too rigid in my beliefs and I'm losing sight of some other things?
Yeah. And then putting that into the framework of the evolution of this conversation, because if we were to have this conversation a decade ago, Patrick, we would have gone obsession, bro. Like I wrote it, like obsession's the thing. Like that's what I thought chasing excellence was in the beginning, was be a world dominator, like become the one. And that it just evolved, and it's not a right or a wrong. It's just a different phase of life.
Love it. We'll leave it there. Thank you, Tyler, for the question. One more time, chasingexcellence.email. Get on the list. Get the link to get your question into a future episode. We're going to do a quick recommendation roundup in a moment. But first, a quick word of thanks from a few more sponsors. We're brought to you this week by Element. If you're looking to boost your energy, improve your exercise, and support your overall health, check out Element. Head to drinkelement.com/excellence to learn more and get your salt on. Element offers a wide range of electrolyte powders designed to replenish essential minerals and support your body's hydration needs. With their carefully formulated blend of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, Element provides the perfect balance to keep you running at your best. Why are electrolytes so important? They play a crucial role in various aspects of your health. For instance, electrolytes are essential for cellular respiration, helping convert stored energy into usable energy. They also contribute to nerve impulse transmission, which can affect your energy levels and overall cognitive function. Athletes can lose significant amounts of sodium during intense workouts, and if not replenished, this can negatively affect your performance. Element offers the much-needed sodium to help you stay at the top of your game. But it's not just about physical performance. Electrolytes also play a role in heart health, brain health, mood regulation, immune function, and hormone balance. Low sodium or potassium levels can have a profound effect on these areas, so ensuring you have adequate electrolyte intake is essential. If you're ready to experience the benefits of Element electrolyte drinks for yourself, visit the website drinkelement.com/excellence to explore their range of delicious flavors and find the perfect fit for your needs. Element is offering a free sample pack with any of your purchases. That's 8 single serving packs for free with any Element order. A great way to taste all 8 flavors or share with a friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/excellence. That deal is only available through that link, drinklmnt.com/excellence. We are also brought to you this week by OneSkin. You're all about taking care of your health, but what about your skin health? If not, or you want to do it better, check out oneskin.com and use the code excellence at checkout to save yourself 15% on their amazing skincare supplements. OneSkin knows that science is the key when it comes to skincare. They've created products powered by the revolutionary OS01 peptide, which has been scientifically proven to target aged cells, the main cause of skin aging. Their groundbreaking research has actually shown that using their products can reduce the biological age of your skin by several years. Who wouldn't want healthier, more youthful looking skin? The best thing about OneSkin is that their face and body system is super simple. Just 2 easy steps, hassle-free addition to your wellness routine that can make a real difference. Here's an exclusive offer for you folks out there. You can get 15% off OneSkin when you use the code excellence at oneskin.co. I've been using their products. I'm loving how they make my skin feel. So not only do they tackle the visible signs of aging, they also address the underlying causes, something that most skincare products don't. If you're ready to optimize your skin biology and age gracefully, head over to oneskin.co and use the code excellence for 15% off your order. That's oneskin.co with the code excellence. Take good care of your skin because it's the only one you've got. We've got a quick shout out before we get into our recommendation roundup. Shout out is just when we take a moment to read a note, a review, something somebody sent us, a listener, just as a way to say thank you and to encourage you guys to keep reaching out to us because we really do appreciate it. We love seeing it and we love hearing from you. This is from Carla. This is a note. I think she might have just sent this directly to you and you forwarded this on to me. She said, Ben, I did it. I got my CrossFit level 3. Thanks to your inspiring leadership and chasing excellence. Studying for this was easy. I recognized so many practices, thought patterns, and values that have become so ingrained in my own practice as a coach and life as a mother, partner, and friend. Of course, it's also hard work and 7 years of coaching CrossFit, but I feel like you've prepped me for this through your work. So thank you. In the process now of opening my own affiliate, I'm excited for life. I'm happy. I feel confident and capable. Wow, what a great time to be. I agree.
Oh
What a
my
great
God.
time to
The
be.
last part's the best, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Congrats, Carla, on the level 3. Congrats on opening your own affiliate, but um, happy to be alive, confident, and
That's
what a
right.
great time to
Confident and
be.
capable.
Love that.
I like that combo.
Confident and
Competent and capable.
capable.
I like that, right?
Yes.
That's the goal. That's what we're aiming for. All right, our cool down. Take a moment to just recommend something that we've been enjoying. Sometimes we do books, sometimes we do podcasts, sometimes we do products, whatever it might be that we are enjoying. Want me to go first?
Go for it.
All right, I'll go first. I am going to recommend folks who are not yet premium members of Spotify. So it's very specific. The reason being, and I was really excited about this, Spotify just introduced for premium users, which is just their way of this, the paid version. We now have 15 hours of audiobooks included in that membership. And so Spotify is trying to get into the audiobook market. They're obviously competing against Audible. And I just thought this was like kind of brilliant because I like the idea of audiobooks. I never really got into it. I've never really gotten into them, but I use Spotify all day long for everything. So this puts audiobooks right next to the podcast I listen to, right next to the music. So like it's super easy for me to sort of search through and try to find something to listen to. So that's one reason I like it is it's in a place that I already am. Second reason I really like it is one of the things I didn't like or I don't like about Audible is like you've got to kind of commit to the whole book before you get any of it. And with this one, in the way they're doing it with 15 hours, I can listen to the first 2 chapters of a book. I'm like, oh, this isn't for me. I didn't buy the whole book. I didn't. And so because of that, you can kind of dabble, you can kind of test in a way that I never really liked about Audible. It was too much pressure for me to be like, what's the one book I'm going to get from Audible this month? I hope I like it. And so, yeah, so I just think it's a cool feature. For me, not listening to audiobooks that much, it's just a really low barrier way for me to like try out some novels that I might be interested in, try some memoirs, some things that maybe are a little bit outside the scope of what I usually read because the pressure is low.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great call out too with it allows you the freedom to jump in and out of books because everybody, if you start a book, you should not feel like you need to finish it. Like
Yes.
that is just, oh my gosh. Like that's a weird thing that we have ingrained into us. Like I'm not a good person if I don't finish this thing.
Yeah.
It's like
They
never
get
quit.
that into us in high school.
All right. I'm like, oh my gosh. No, if you're on chapter 3 and it's not good, move on. Like,
yep.
So that's a really cool thing. And just, maybe for other people that aren't into audiobooks, because I do a fair amount of them. 15 hours is a great number. Because most books are somewhere around 8 hours. So that's 2 books a month. It's gonna be hard to get up against that. Plus, and I don't know how this works, I listed at 1.25 speed. So it kind of like gets you through maybe.
I don't know how,
if it's
I don't know
truly
how
hours. Yeah. Like if you listen at 2 speed, can you get through 4
twice
books?
as many?
Yeah. But that's pretty cool. That's essentially 2 like beefy books a month, which is, unless you have a crazy long commute, that's hard to get through.
One more reason I like it, and I haven't fully gone into this yet because this is only a couple weeks old, but because they know my podcast listening habits, in other words, like they're starting to say, because you like chasing excellence, you may like these books. And so obviously they're building out how those things connect with each other. But just to be able to sort of stack on top.
Because you like chasing excellence, what are the books that they're recommending?
I don't know because I haven't looked that far yet because it's relatively random what they're suggesting at this point. But just thinking about just like
it'd be like
being able to
iPhones
stack
for
those
dummies. So they know we're both like technology idiots, like in terms of, not idiots, but like don't enjoy being on it. And I have an iPhone 10 still, and you probably don't even have an iPhone. Yeah.
No, I do. I've got an iPhone.
Yeah.
All right, your turn. That was mine.
Everybody that listens to this should go and watch the movie Just 1 Mile.
Just 1 mile.
Just 1 mile. So here's the premise: is there is a race in Tennessee in the backwoods that you run a mile, and it's up a huge hill and back down, and you have to complete it in 20 minutes. If you complete it in 20 minutes, you have earned the right to do it again. And if you finish the next one in 20 minutes, you have earned the right to do it again. And the race stops when nobody can complete the last 20 minutes. So it's last man standing or last woman standing. And I don't think I'm wrecking it by saying that the winners go for way, way north of 100 miles. So every 20 minutes, they're running through the woods up and down this hill, and they end up going for days. It's incredible. So that's, but the coolest part, I think, is the mindset aspect. And there's this guy named Chad who's kind of been blowing up on social since this. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's the guy that is the reigning champion, and people are there to try to beat him. And his mindset is phenomenal. Now, he's incredibly confident. I'm not going to say arrogant, because he's incredibly confident, which can be a turnoff. But if you get past that, which looks like arrogance, and you start to listen to what he's actually saying, it is really two things. You need three things. You have to be patient. Don't rush this thing. Be patient. Stay on the process. Just commit to the process. Be patient and be present. And being present, this is what kills people, is this is so hard right now. What's this? It's going to feel like in 5 miles? Like, am I going to be able to go through the whole thing? My goal was to be able to this, but it's so hard right now. It's like, pull it back to this, what's in front of you right now. Do what you can with what you got right now. But the way the movie leads off is what got me. And I actually showed this to some of my athletes at the games this year. It's him talking to the camera going, if I go up against somebody who pushes me past the point where I thought I could go on my own, and that person beats me, but in the process, I grow and evolve as a human being, that's a win for me, man. So that's what he's looking for. It's the true, real definition of competition. There's a reason that competition exists in nature, and it is to evolve species. Through competition, we get stronger. We become better. We learn, grow, and evolve. It's not who gets the medal at the end. It's, are you coming out of this better than you went into it? And he fully represents that ethos as well as I've ever seen it shown anywhere else. The next best is John Wooden. Like, John Wooden is the next best I've seen, which is the famous UCLA basketball coach, which was all about that. And then seeing that pan out through the movie, this, I'm here to be pushed, to learn and grow, and I'm going to stay patient and present, is just such a cool lesson for all of us. And it's captivating. I really recommend everyone goes checks out Just 1 Mile. It's on iTunes or the iStore, however you say that. How do you even say it? Is it the iStore?
Yeah, it's
iStore?
still
iTunes?
Yeah, iTunes, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. It's
All right,
in
awesome.
the computer.
It's I don't know how you get it up, but it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much for that. I look forward to it. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. Thank you for your ratings and your reviews. Thank you for your questions. Head to chasingexcellence.email, get on the newsletter list, get a question to the top of the queue. Ben and I will be back next week for another episode of Chasing Excellence.